Alright, let's start this up. I've grabbed a couple of parts from a kit I want to take inspiration from while I'm doing the laser turret I'm about to crank up. I kind of want to do I shouldn't say it, like a, um, what is it, like an outpost, uh, defense point. Or point defense, what the fuck am I talking about? English words. It's late. It's 2:46 in the morning. But anyway, that's not really late. It's early for us. We're gonna be here until like about 6:30 in the morning. And then we'll be back again sometime around noon, 2 o'clock. And by then, hopefully, we have something to show you guys. And then I'll post it on my blog. So it's a simple blog. It's just something tracking my progress in the modeling part of the CGI industry. And yeah, it's gonna be great. So we got some parts from kit. Now, here's the tricky part. See all these parts right here? There are two ways I could actually use them if I was going to play with them and actually build something. I could only use it for personal use. I could never grab this, put it in a game, and sell it. Correct? However, that does not deter me from looking at something that at a kit that I bought and draw inspiration from it. Then it's like, well, you're copying my kit. No, I'm not. You inspire me. I paid for your work to be inspired. That's why I paid for the work. So I'm gonna grab all these parts, right? And I'm not exactly gonna replicate them. But what I'll do is I'll build a kit with the kit, a turret that kind of looks like what I want it to look like. And then I'll use my creative workflow and my techniques and my own shapes to mimic the style of the turret that I came up with the kit. And at that point, it's your own kit, your own creation. Now you can sell that. Because the only thing you did was, well, yeah, I look at some 3D shapes and then is there any actual copy, any copy paste, any exact piece that, or similar piece that was implemented? No, because, I mean, if you look at everything here, well then, this guy's gotta pay some money to the first person that ever made a fucking screw, a hexagonal like Allen key screw. You feel? The person that just sold this skip bash kit to me, right? So I find that even if sometimes you're like, well, damn, I paid like $50. I didn't. I paid $7 for this giant kit. And but then I knew my limitations on how to use it. I know I can't sell a fucking thing out of this, other than if I was to use it to kit bash, let's say, the robot, and then I went ahead and 3D printed that robot and then I sold it online. Yeah, no, because I'm selling you my fucking resin and my fucking printer time. At most, he'll be entitled to like some sort of royalty, but nah, that's not the same. Okay. At most, he'll be entitled to some sort of royalty. But this method that I'm about to employ, it's like, yeah, no, fuck you, dude. Then you sold me the kit. I bought the kit, and I use it for personal use. I meet the requirements of the contract, of the law. Oh well, what kind of personal use? Well, I am using it as inspiration to come up with good designs. Because these are all parts that I can make myself. Come on. I mean, come on. Cylinder, chamfer, bowling, bowling. It's all yeah, all booleans and extrusion, chamfer, rounded up. This is all hard ups. This was built with the hard ups, right? So I don't do none of that shit. Like I could crank up hard ups if I really need it. How much is hard ups? The good one. Or is it free? Hard ups for Blender. Like I've never used it. I've learned to go slow, go vanilla, and just, you know, chill out. One thing that I like to use, and it's very fucking useful, it's for example fangs. So fangs, everything is CC0, Creative Commons 0, which means you can grab it, you can use it, you can sell it, you can everything, which is how I work. Like even people that want to pay me, I'm like, no, bro. Listen, I'm Creative Commons 0. I'm gonna give you all this shit, right? And when it's not like that, that's like if I'm not using this method. Like this method is for stream, like making quick assets. It's like, okay, well, I can't pay for the fucking license to use the actual kit. Besides, I don't want my shit to look at other people's games. Because the kit, I have it all laid out back here. You know, the kit is only going to give you so many combinations because so you find games, so it's like, they're using the same kit. No, I don't want that. However, the parts give me certain inspiration of certain shapes or like mechanical contraptions and stuff like that. So I'll theorize with the kit. That's personal use. But I'm not going to use the kit to create a model and try to sell it. That now I'm breaching the law. So that's not something that's not a rabbit hole you want to go through. So another option is, let's say you have this kit, you didn't pay for that license, right? Well, make your own part, right? Make your own part. Let's say the only way you could know, because any booleans you run, any operation you run into any part you make, yeah, no, that wouldn't work. So you can't really use any part of the kit to run any kind of operation on any. So no booleans, no, like you can't deform this thing, you can't just decimate it and call it your piece. No, that's not gonna work out. So yes, your only choice when paying the cheapest license on a kit, it's you draw inspiration from it. You grab something, you build something with it, and you look at it. And you're like, okay, look, I can grab that. I could even simplify it, because these things are like very mesh heavy. Alright, we're looking at the single object is how much? Yeah, like 5K triangles for a single tiny piece. Look at this. I mean, perfect. This fucker is like hard ups. It's great. Ultimate Bundle, Blender Market. How much is it right now? it's 38 bucks. It's 40 bucks right now. So, like, I don't, yeah, no. I'm doing vanilla. And this can be done vanilla. It's not like, there is no add-on. That's one thing that I've always found interesting. Is like, all these add-ons, and everybody's got like 10 billion tabs here with, you know, like they gotta scroll down all the way down here to find which add-on they need to use. No, no. I got to Blender kit, and both of them, except thanks because it's CZ0. Anything CZ0, yeah, I can grab and use it. I might find it in another game, but if I'm gonna submit it to somebody else for like a game, I'm gonna heavily modify anything I get that's Creative Commons 0. I'm gonna heavy modify it, and it fucking go. Uh, like earlier today, out of the kit, I got this fucking amazing ship because I went ahead and I built the ship with the kit, right? How I kind of wanted it to look, but then the ship is too square for the way I wanted it to look for the people I wanted it to present it to. So I go ahead and it's right next to the ship. Like I used it as if it was because I put a plane. It was like a like if I was using a image, a reference image, and then I put a plane up, I put it in one axis, in the y-axis. I put it like standing up, all built up with the kit, and then I put a plane, right? And then I just drew the silhouette first. Then I started extrusions and bending and curving, converting this vertex set to a curving specifically how I want. It ended up being a like 500,000 fucking triangles. It was ridiculous. Like it was not optimized and shit, but it was the coolest shit I've done so far. It looked like some shit from uh what the fuck? I would say I don't know, some alien shit. It had like this super curvy spikes coming out the back, and then some cannons out the front. I made some tubing and stuff on the cannons, which I'm gonna get rid of because it's not the style. I kind of want to go more Star Trek-y now. It's the trend. The reflective white plastics and the glass screens with holographic interfaces, and it's just that's what the trend is right now, as far as like when you're going to a cockpit or when you're seeing just like the overall materials inside a place. You're seeing that it's not like that. I mean, there are different styles, of course, in the different games depending on the futuristic setting. I was discussing that with a colleague not too long ago, that it's like I was just working on a project that was like kind of like the tech looked like it was a mix between 21st century technology and just a few hundred years down the line, like a couple of hundred years down the line, where we're still using gunpowder. It just fires a lot harder, or we're using different technology but based on the same shit. So it was all kind of like that, and scopes looked like, and it was meant to be like that. Like scopes hadn't changed, and for the game they had just be like a scope was still a scope, and it had lenses and focused, and you know some of the weaponry had mechanical firing mechanisms. So it was all like that. But then I'm like, well, I want to explore other, I don't want to get stuck. I don't want my capacity for reference in my brain to get filled up with just one style. So okay, I've explored this kind of 20 24th, 25th century style. We need to get to like the 35th, 36th century where we're like, you know, we got hyperdrives and everything's smooth and looks like fucking Star Trek. And even like the bulky shit looks like Star Trek. Like the squarest thing you're gonna get is probably a cylinder. If that makes any sense. Or hexagons, and you know, a lot of hexagonal stuff would be in the future. Because the hexagon, it's a very intrinsic shape at a cosmic level. Alright? So, and the shape of carbon it's interesting. Carbon is the 666. Let me tell you why. Oh, everybody's like, oh my god, the devil. No, it's got 6 electrons and 6 neutrons and 6 fucking protons. So the 666 is carbon. Carbon, it's also a very nice building block. It can arrange itself in so many ways due to the fact that it's 6-sided. That you can get materials that can be as hard as diamond, the hardest material, and it could also be the scaffold of some of the softest materials in the world, organic tissue. You feel like carbon is epic. So hexagonal shapes in ships is always good. It was always good for like alien ships to be like, you know, 6-sided. For like a turret base to be hexagonal. You know, there's also the importance of knowing that there's really not fucking just hexagonal shapes. Octagons are good, but those are used more like once you want to make a cylinder. Because in today's gaming industry, the big deal is keeping it low poly, but having it, you know, having it shade it in such a way that, yeah, it's still fucking... some magician out there I know can make a goddamn, like the default cube, make it look like a fucking cylinder. There's gotta be some guru out there, but I mean, that's gotta be a challenge. Now you have to at least chamfer. I don't know. You need at least like 8 sides to get no matter how low poly, 8 sides minimum. Anyways, let's try to come up with something. So we have some stuff that will create some sort of turret, and it'll be kind of curvy. This would be like the cannon. So now this is conceptualizing. This is not what we're going to use. You're gonna see the whole workflow. I'm first gonna build it with the kit. Then I'm gonna copy the style and make something like it. And that's the big I win with this kind of kits. If you're lazy, or if you're trying to put out like yet another mobile game and stuff like that, and you know your transactions are like, yeah, you buy the license for like $300 for it, right? So you buy your $300 license, and then you can just grab the kit and just make yet another mobile game, which that's fine, because at that level of, you're still on a mobile, at that level it's like imperceptible. You could actually make games completely different just by being smart about what you do with the kit. Because once you buy that license, you can chop it off. You can take the things apart and plug them together. You can boolean things out of each other, and you can basically do whatever you want with it and sell it. At that point, you bought the full open license for it. But my dog keeps fucking with me. I'm about to lose my shit, but anyway, so that's what we are getting out of this. Look, what I'm getting out of this is that this thing looks like a turret head. So we're gonna bring it. What are you gonna grab? We're gonna bring it on the Y over here. Actually, since you're the turret head, you're going to Shift S number 7. Shift S and number 7. So these things are gonna be what's gonna give me some curves around and shit. They kind of have. So what do we got here? Like a very flat 30-degree. Fucking 30-degree. This fucking dog, bro. What do we got? Like about 30-degree curve. This one's even flatter, about 15-degree curve or less. Shit, it's close to 5. Okay, so we'll bend this stuff and we'll reshape this stuff to create some curves around the main body and all that good stuff. Remember that. Okay, I think I'm gonna use that as a base. It's kind of like a chamfer cube. It's got some cylinders stuck to it. It looks like it could be a base, correct? So we're gonna start with that. So let's pull this out of here. Sorry, turret. We gotta start from the bottom. And we're going to choose on the Y. And Shift S7 will do, right? And we'll just rotate the Y for 90. So I'm doing all this on shortcuts. I should be coloring it out. I forgot how you do the whole thing where it shows what you're clicking, but I hate the amount of space that takes inside a little bit, so I'd rather just read it out to you. So what I just did there, I pretty much just did a GY. I pressed G to grab, Y to move it on the Y axis, then I stopped and I was like, whatever. And then I went Shift S, which does this, which is the same as select. Where is it? Oh yeah, it's wait, hang on, because for every action that I have a shortcut, this is selection to person selection. Okay, so it should be under select. But it's not here. My shift, what's my shift S on the upper? I see my shift D. I don't see my shift S. What is the actual minute? Yeah, that's a good question. It's gotta be somewhere. Is it on right click? I see my shift D. I do not see shift S, and I don't recall learning other than shift S. You know what I mean? So shift S, and then that's how you move your cursor specifically around where you want it. And I do a lot of that. It's the old school way of. That's why my workflow is slow, and I like to keep it that way because I like sometimes my outcome outdo my expectations. So when I get a lot better at it, I'm gonna be the guy that's running the same kind of quality as the top guy, but still doing it in vanilla, and still I mean, I don't think I'll ever be time competitive. There's nothing like fucking hard ups box cutter, especially the ultimate fucking bundle. 38 bucks for the whole thing. It's 20 bucks each. Mm. But yeah, I'm in no position to do that kind of transaction right now. Not even 40 bucks, guys. And no joke. Like renting Florida, it's ridiculous. Wife and I, we're staying in a one bedroom, one bathroom apartment, and we're paying $1,900 for like 500 square feet, bro. This is like a mini home. This is like a mini house, literally. And we're sitting here, man, like scraping by, bro. So I'm gonna start setting up like some sort of ways for people to start helping me out, because it seems like anyone that's willing to put hard work and ask for help actually gets the help. It's like my grandmother, rest in peace, used to say in Spanish. It sounds a little dirty, but niño que no llora no mama, which means baby that don't cry never gets to suck on a titty. If you don't cry, you don't suck on a titty. So the analogy serves. Like, bro, we need money. And we don't need like be rich. We need to not have a couple $100 in the bank for the whole 2 weeks, for the whole next week, 2 weeks. You know what I mean? That's not cool. That puts you at, you can't even go have dinner, because at least in the city of Miami, the moment you put your foot inside the car to go out to do the most simple thing, doesn't matter what it is, you know you're gonna spend $100. That's the bare minimum. I'm talking about you brought sandwiches with you that you got at Subway, put them in a purse, and went into the movies so you don't go to concessions. Kind of deal. You know what I mean? It's critical. Like when shit's like that, it's critical, man. That at that point you just don't wanna. So we're gonna scale this up by 2 overall, and that puts its measurements, because this is another thing that I like to do. Very, 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 very important, because when people are importing, whether they're importing to Unity or they're importing to Unreal, it's very fucking simple for them, and it's very quick. There are minor steps they have to take if you keep your shit 1-to-1. Meaning, how big do you want your ship? Well, in reality, if I was in the game, I would want my ship to be about 150 meters long. That means it's a fucking like battle cruiser or battleship. You know, like it throws like 6-meter wide fighters out of its belly or some shit like that, right? Right? Then I'm going to fucking build it at 1-to-1 at that size. I'll just scale up here with my units and stuff, and you know, fuck with my units, fuck with my viewport displayed, and how far it can see, how far it clips off. That's important, because you start fading away before you're trying to see some far part of your model from far away. If you don't have this set up right, it'll blur out. So yeah, you have to fuck with that when you're dealing at big scales. But right now we're dealing on the tens of meters, so that's where I'm sitting at. The kit actually comes on the millimeter scale, and it comes heavy poly, heavy. Like it's not optimized for anything. It's not optimized for shit. It's actually optimized for like if you want to 3D print this part and glue them together into like a little robot or little turrets and little shits like that. And then you could do, that would be like the personal use you would use it for, to make your own little robots for I don't know, your hobby, you know, little whatever, little set. I don't know exactly the details of that part. I know exactly the details of what I'm doing with it, which I have been informed it is completely fucking legal. I like this part. I like this part. I like this part. We're gonna need some round parts other than that cylinder. So we grab one of these from over here. I don't need a nose cone. We're not launching anything. I don't need that. I may need this in some way, shape, or form just to see what the fuck. We have all that kind of stuff we wanted, right? Actually, we want some. Look, this round kind of looks good. And I can definitely, I don't really need, yeah, I don't really need that. I could just like do one of those. Well, for conceptualizing, actually, I'm gonna go with one of these. For conceptualizing, I'm going with one of these. No pipes, no, so no pipey stuff, more smooth. As a matter of fact, this is too steampunky to use as a cannon, right? But you see what I'm doing here? I'm grabbing like, this is like, I bought a box of Lego pieces, right? And then I build with my Lego pieces something that I want to make in 3D. So I grab my Lego pieces and I put them on one side and I look at it. And I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna give it my twist. And I go for it. That's exactly what we're doing here. So yeah, I really suggest two things that are like ultimate, like win mode. Follow your like top guys that sell these kits. All right, and when you see, you have to be careful because these guys are masters at this shit, and you have to find in between their kits the ones that have copies from all their kits, and they've just boolean this part out of that part and made a new part and put it into a new kit that now they're selling you, but it's really the old kit with two boolean modifiers applied, or they mirrored something. They mirrored a part that they already had in one kit, then they doubled up on it. They made an array out of it, so they made it kind of like squarish or roundish, whichever shape was being worked with. Then they ran some sort of boolean through it, or the sides of it, and you start getting other parts and stuff out of the same. So you make parts out of parts. So you have to be very careful. This right here has a few that are in that category, but it was one of those that was like, okay, that's pretty original, where I can have my Lego box, you know what I mean? I just need a Lego box. I just need a Lego box for reference. And ooh, some of this hollow stuff, I don't think so. Some of the square stuff, I don't think so, buddy. None of the bracketed stuff. Fucking dog keeps fucking with me, bro. I'm gonna have to spank him, and he's too old for me. He's already 5. He's not a little fucking puppy, so I can't be, spanking the dog and shit. Teddy, for fuck's sake, bro. You keep howling and barking at me. Come on, keep it together, buddy. If you want up on the bed, I'll get you up on the bed. Get up on your bed. Come here. There you go. Do not get off your bed. Again, it's sleepy time. And then you can't smack. I mean, he's a large throwback Pomeranian. The black ones, really completely black, beautiful fucking. People confuse it with a Chow Chow, but it's not. It's because it's got a pointy nose like a palm and stuff. So this is really good stuff. Look at the feet of a Mac and stuff. That's cool. There's really good stuff that you can grab out of here to kind of get some inspiration on some fires. You know what I mean? Some firepower. None of this stuff, because all of actually I would grab, but none of this stuff is something I cannot create. None of these things that I would use for like a turret or something like that, except this one's kind of cool. Did I grab that already? I think I did. It's up there. Alright, let's go Lego piece. Something together. Alright, we were here. So we kind of want to have a turret. You are the turret. What the fuck am I doing, man? Okay, so what's the size of this at this moment? 13 by 24. Okay, so we need 2 by 10. So these parts that we're using, we're gonna grab them all. This is what we're gonna be using to Lego piece our inspiration piece. We're going to scale by 10. And now we have things on the meter size. We're looking at, it's about 2.5 meters tall. Alright, so that's a little higher than your average house ceiling. That's about right. There's gonna be some scaling there. This is gonna get stretched. I see that it's too bulky. That's probably gonna be like something like the barrel, and I wanna see kind of like what I can come up with what I got. Right, so now we're going to definitely enhance this page. I should, yeah, hello, I should face project. Center? Yeah, sure, center will do. Where are the, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to set all my anchor points, or origins in this case, aka anchor points, aka whatever the fuck you want to call it, the place that it snaps onto. It's really the geometry's origin point. Any operation you run off of it will run off of that origin point. In that case, you see how that yellow dot is off from the piece? If I scale, it'll scale from there. If I rotate, it'll rotate around that spot. If I move, it'll be, anything I do, it'll be in relation to that dot. So what we want to do, which is two ways to do this, is you go object, blah blah blah. If you haven't seen a tutorial, I'm not doing a tutorial, I'm just, sometimes I like to show what I've learned. So object, anyway, object, you go to origin and you set origin to the geometry, and it'll set it to the center of the whole thing. So it'll calculate the distance in between all vertices, and it'll stick the origin at the center point of every single vertex on that piece, right? If I wanted to make it, for example, in between these two pieces right at the center, then I would have to go into edit mode and grab, for example, those two parallel lines. So yeah, I will grab, for example, I'll grab this one, and I will grab this one, and then we do the magic Shift S, and that brings that up. You could use your mouse or you could press the number. I press the number. I'm a keyboard clanker. And you do Shift S, you do 2. You do cursor to select it. And once you do that, then you can go back to object mode, and now we can set that origin point right where we want it. Like I could put it in the front of this face, I could put, and that's gonna help in how you want it to snap along faces when you're using the snap on tool, right? So we kind of want to say object, set origin to 3D cursor, or we simply want to right click, set origin to 3D cursor. That's a lot easier. That's how we're going to follow up. But that's why I got bothered a little bit ago about that function, about Shift S. Shift S, I couldn't find it. I'm bugged. After I'm done here, I gotta find it. It's probably something dumb that I just forgot, and as soon as I see it, I'll be like, oh my god, I knew this. What the fuck? But I know me. And right now, mental block. Don't even know what the fuck it is. I'd rather do this. So now we're gonna go right here and be like, we don't give a fuck about the polygon count. We don't give a fuck about any of that at this very specific point. When we're done, we're gonna erase, when we're done with the actual model that we copied and shit, not that we copied from this, but that we kind of like, okay, took guide from this, then we go ahead and be like, okay, now let's change this shape and optimize it for actual shading, UV mapping, all that good shit that makes it usable in the game. So that's what we're gonna do now. Let's Lego play. So right here, this line runs across the middle of the whole thing. I don't trust it, but whatever. Shift S2. And you, my friend, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I already put the thing there. When I G you, I have snap on, right? Yep, I do. Perfect. And I can actually scale it the way I want to, which is in the y-axis and the z-axis, just like I need to from that origin. Remember how the origin impacts from where it scales. So if it's halfway in between, it's gonna, if I do S for scale, and I press the z-axis, Z out to lock the z-axis, then when I scale, the bottom will start clipping and the top, because both sides will grow. But since the dot is at the bottom, when I scale on the z-axis, it's just going to go up. So scale Z. Okay. And since on the Y it doesn't matter because it's dead center, even though it's a little bit further forward, it's dead center. It's just going to expand sideways the way I want. Scale Y, and that's where we want to make it like an actual turn. We're looking at something cool already, and I ain't even fucking done. So scale Z a little more. And we kind of want to put some cool stuff. So I don't think I'm going to use this hexagonal stuff for much. And I think what we want dual cannons in there. So these are obviously the cannons that we're going to use for this Lego model. And they're on face project, correct? I kind of want to project them there. I kind of want to turn face project off, to tell you the truth. Just keep it at increments, no lock. And I kind of want to put it where I want. Since this is just a model. So we're going GY. And GZ. I just want to GY a little more. Yeah. And it kind of extrudes there. No, that's whatever. This is just okay. So what we want now is, do we expose the detailing? Of course, because that's what makes the cannon cool. So I don't mind stretching it in both ways right now and then moving it forward. So scale on the x-axis, and we're gonna do that not to where it looks retarded, but to where it looks still decent, or slightly retarded. It doesn't matter, it's a fucking model. It's just that perfection for me. Even when I'm just building pieces with a Lego, it's important. So yeah, one thing I want to do with this is not set to the middle. Actually, you know what? Shift S1, because this is just a tendency I have. You don't have to do this every time, but I like to have a mirror of my own. This is one of the best uses that I have ever found for an empty object, other than, you know, all the other uses. For me, the one I find myself using it the most is for a mirror. So I like to put, first of all, I always build from the center. It's just ease of use. I build one-to-one. Ease of use, ease of transfer into game engines. And number 3 is just like the mirror is just easy. So I usually put my shit there real quick, and I go, okay, well, I want a empty, so I go Shift A, and we're gonna add an empty plain axis, and we're gonna make it where they stick out a lot. So we're going to go right down here on the left, and we're gonna put, I don't know, it don't matter, but we'll make it 3 meters. Okay, I just need it to stick like that, so that when I'm working with shit and stuff and I need to mirror something, I can just grab it by the tip. Alright, and the next thing I'm gonna do is, you can either double click here, or you can go to the item properties or the object properties and say, I like to put it on caps, so it's always very visible in here, especially when your collection's starting to get big, or if it's starting to get masked by the amount of bullshit you have going on. And then I go mirror. What the fuck? My cap lock or something. Mirror. It's holding shift like an So we do that. And then, well, you know what's about to happen. We just simply grab this guy and we tell him, bro, I need you to be on the other side. I need your brother on the other side. And then we say, okay, listen, I need you to be mirrored by the mirror, my friend. Boom. Okay, take the X off. And we got what we need. And it's a Lego build, so apply. Now we got some cool stuff. I kind of don't like the flatness of it. I feel like it should be bigger, the turret itself. No, I know what we need to do. So scale 1, no, we need to put stuff on top of it. and I wouldn't do that. Let's try these panels in some sort of shape or form, because I kind of wanted to. Okay, I see. So we're gonna rotate that 180 degrees on the Z. So we press R for rotate, Z to lock the axis, and we say, I need you to turn around above face. And there we have it, folks. Now what if I wanted to cover the sides of the cannon so that it just looks cool? Right? So we'll go, no problem, right on your local axis, rotate on the X 90 degrees. Click. Now face project, it might be advisable because it needs to wrap, so it's kind of like on the right spot. Let me see if it does right. I'm not a fan of face project. I like to be precise, but whatever. So, no, it went where it needed to go. Come on, just get good. Right. So that's kind of close to what we want, but not what we want. I kind of want to move it on the x-axis a little. I want to compress it, and I would even shrink wrap it, but that would just fuck it up because this is sort of squarish. I mean, let's face it. Why doesn't that look good? Is that shaded wrong? Am I? Okay, let me just not be a noob. Okay, auto merge is off, splitters are off. Got it. Now the whole thing, why is it looking like this? Is the modifier applied? Why is this one looking like this? Why would, what's with the shading error? So, GX, no, GY real quick. What happened here? I didn't notice right away. So I need to understand why I mirrored something and then all of a sudden it got destroyed. So hang on, we need to just go back, Control Z the whole thing. Yes, sir. I'm just spamming that Control Z. There we go. Oh no, Control Shift C. I went too far back. I have a lot of undo steps. When you are a noob, you want a lot of them. Okay, what was your fucking thought? Where's my, okay, so my Control Shift Z. I'm still, there's my, okay. Now, sir. Let's take a look at everything before we mirror. And make sure that we don't have any kind of fuck up. Step one. My tools. I want to make sure that my auto merge is off. Okay, this is it. Okay, that's good. I want to grab everything actually that I'm working with, because that's one thing I have not done, and it might be affecting behavior, and that is to Control A and apply all transforms. No, Control Z. Apply all transforms to deltas because I don't want them to lose their parenting. So Control A, apply all transforms to deltas, and that applies all transformations. It resets all scales and all that shit, but your origins don't go to the middle. You do that once you have a model, you're gonna close it up and you're about to deliver it to the guy, and you might want to like pair it to an MT or something like that. That's when you're doing a raw model for somebody. When you're doing something more like animated stuff, everything that's, now you gotta, you know, bake the animations for the guy, like I haven't even delved into the workflow of doing that for game asset delivery. Right now, I'm the guy that delivers the asset to the guy that does that. I'm like, I'm like the guy that does that helper, because the guy that does that is the same guy that it's probably a pro at modeling or at the whole CGI shit. So I would be just a helper to a dude like that. If help at all, if I wouldn't be in the way, really. At my level, I mean, you see once I try to make something out of what we're building here. However, I will struggle tremendously to make it, but I promise you, it'll look nice. And it will be optimized into the standard that I want to hold it. That's what counts. Alright, let's do that boolean again. That boolean has to work. Not boolean, fucking error. I love cutting shit. I'm sorry. Boolean is the one thing I use the most. I don't think I've used ever any other modifier more than I've used. Let's pick the mirror first, since it appears that the fuck up was what killed it. We're gonna flip it on the y-axis, baby, and it comes out fucked. I do not understand. Is it the it has to be the shading. Hang on. So let's apply that. Let's apply that real quick. Right? So let's tab into that mode again. Let's do that X-ray real quick. And I kind of need all my faces. Press F3 instead of 3. And I'm just gonna go and grab everything from here, right? I'm gonna YP by selection. Computer's acting slow. Oh, hang on. Okay, I thought it was having convulsions. Alright, so now we tab out, click on this guy, take that X-ray off, and we see, okay, cool. So what if I do shade auto smooth for you? That doesn't work. What if I do smooth? That definitely doesn't work. Flat. What? Oh, it's shaded flat. Look at that. Flat fixed it. Okay, never mind that. The guy's working on flat. To make it look like this on flat, oh my god. And then that's a lot of fucking geometry. If you're shading flat, you're not looking at it how it would, you're not looking at it how it would look for optimized gameplay. That's why we have to, Lego pieces together. Alright, we resolved that. I'm eager to use that piece, but I don't know where. Is the backside square? Can I make square cannons? No, they're gonna be round cannons. And they're gonna have this kind of flaps on the side. I kind of like that idea of having flaps, this kind of round flaps covering the thing. Okay. So yeah, we were at that stage. And we're going to about face this again, rotate Z 180. When I say rotate, just remember RZ 180. That's what I'm really doing. Wait a minute. What if I do this on the top? No, that's not where I wanted it. That's where I wanted it. A little bit to the side. What if I now grab, what's this? No, not just one. Grab both. Click. Okay, let's grab them faces and square them up. So we're gonna do tries to quads real quick. No, 30 degrees. 40 is fine. That's ridiculous. In 2 parts, we have 9 million in the entire set, but that's the kit back there too. These 2 parts themselves are 500,000. I kind of want to reduce that part. So this is what you do when you find stuff like that. First of all, get rid of this because sometimes it can fuck with what you're doing. We go into X-ray mode. We want to see behind the thing. See that line right there? Well, we're gonna samurai this shit. So we're gonna do K for knife. Correct? We're gonna kind of, we don't want to set it, but we want to kind of set it where we want to cut. It's better if we just close it and we say, well, right there, you see how it snapped onto it? And we say, well, you want it to cut right through, so we press C as in coconut, and then we click. Once we click, the cut is anchored. Now we need to go straight down. We may not, we could do it manually and be like, or we could just say, no bro, press Z, and now we locked it on the Z. We click. I didn't like that. You need to come back up. You do this as many times as you need to, bro. What the fuck? Why won't it cut there? I don't know, it won't cut there. It's being a bitch. So you go, oh, I see why, because I'm cutting right on the line. Perfect. Even better. That's just going to get separated right away anyway. And then we press enter for that. There's been a cut that has been put there. And that is what we want. Because now, oops, sorry. Now we can go same view. So we're on that same view, and the first thing we do is, well, let's get us a working edge to begin selecting shit. From here on, correct. We're gonna grab all this stuff. We're gonna say Y to separate it from that mesh, and then P to make it its own object. And we're gonna use that selection to make its own object. Now that made 2 little tips, correct? Well, they were kind of way too big, so we're going to do this the following way. We're going to do G on the x-axis. We're going to G. Why is it not G, bro? Am I on, oh, because I'm on edit mode, dumbass. So object mode. We have that. And we have that, there we go. Now we can G it on the x-axis. That's about right. Right. And really we just want, just for reference, we want to go to lines. We want to grab this, no, God damn it. We want to grab that edge. We want to grab that fucking edge. And we also want to grab this edge, and we're just going to extrude it onto the E. So we're going to extrude on the x-axis, and we're going right back into the cannon. Boom, click. I want to have the notion of this, like when they fire, boom, they kind of like back up a little. Or they could be, if it's on repetitive fire, they could be like boom, 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 boom. So like it would look good if they recoiled into the thing little by little, but just a little, like, or faster, like that would be epic. Anyways, so what we really did that for is that we shouldn't have extruded that. We should have just put a cylinder there. So yeah, because I kind of need to. So what I need is a copy of this. Okay, it's not going back to where I wanted it to go, so we're going to click that one. Yeah, I could just mirror it, bro, fuck it. Because I need to shift D it. And then into Y, P by selection, and that's a different block now. Now I can extrude that. If I can fucking click it. No, I'll never find that on the list. I should have put it in there. In a new collection. That one. The one that highlights the whole circle, only the circle, nothing but the circle. Now we can extrude. Now we can say, okay, buddy, press A to select all, and then we go extrude, E for extrude, and we don't want that, so we hold the press X, and we just push it that way, right? Now that same thing, we want it done on the other side, so we can fucking mirror it with our mirror tool. We're gonna say, no buddy, we don't want you on the X, we want you on the Y. And there he is, doing his own thing on the other side. And apply that. Oh yeah, get out of edit mode and apply that. Okay, now I kinda want it to be more bulky. So what if I just scale it on the Y-axis? Just slightly, and then we scale it on the x-axis ever so slightly. And that's a badass turn, defense turn. Okay. I think this curve on the top gave it some character. I need to look at it. No X-ray. And I still want to cover those barrel square parts. So what we're gonna do is rotate Z 180, and then rotate X 90. And we want to grab this G. Oh no, we need to snap on. Now we need to snap on the face. And yeah, we want to definitely magnetically snap onto the face. Kind of like where you want it. Fuck it. It's not even like mandatory. Now we want to. What was the scale on the X? No. this is just reference anyway, guys. So GX a little, scale it on the Z. I'm looking at a bit more of, I kind of like it vibe here. So I'm going to shift D, and I am going to rotate on the X, 180, because now I want to G on the X, I mean on the Y. Thank you. And I want to do, no, come on, right there, you're almost there. Right there. Oh, that looks good. And then we want to do the same. So we want to grab both. Watch this shit. We want to shift D, rotate on the X 90 degrees, enter. Right? And that looks fucking epic, except I want these to extrude a little more, but I don't want them to grow backwards either. As a matter of fact, they're already. So what we're gonna do is, all of them, we're gonna scale them on the Y again. Not the Y, the X again. To where the things are covered, because I don't want them to show my reference image needs to be as close to what I need as possible, right? Notice how those two went, and these two didn't, huh? How about if I pick them all? Let's try picking them all. And we're going to scale them on the X again to get them to hide their tail. The next thing we're going to do is, see how they're all selected, and let me see where they're geometric. So if I shift S2, they're geometric like not good. So we want to do this. I want their origin, all of their origins to be back here, right? So I need that X-ray real quick. You can see what line that is. Right here. These two lines, going to these two lines. And right on autographic mode, make sure autographic is on. It's right in between the holes. So we want to, it's these two. Click right there, right? And that's behind the thing. And since we're stretching it that way, that's what we need. And then we're going to go into right click, set origin to 3D cursor. What that just did for us is that now we can stretch forward without having to have that stick out. So we're going to go scale X, which is what we wanted to do, and I want those to stick out like that, nice and round, right? And now that we have exactly what we need on this one cannon, we want to first of all shift S to 1. Actually, no, escape. You want to set origin back to geometry. Control Z. Set origin to geometry, exactly. And then each one gets its own. Okay, so we're back at where they needed to be. Perfect. So now we can mirror them. So this part it's best done, you know, one by one. God damn it. Forgot to press this one. I prefer to do this on the one by one basis thing. So I add a mirror in the y-axis for this object. Then actually go ahead and apply that. Then we're going to this one, and we're going to do the same over and over and over. All on the y-axis, all anchored to the mirror. And you see how it's a lot easier to fuck with mirrors when you're doing this. It's just no, not on the X. We don't know why. It's part of the workflow, man. Like I've come up with this one myself. I've heard that it was a thing because I was like, hey, you know, you can use this. And it's like, oh yeah, that's a thing. And I'm like, wait, but I came up with it. No, I didn't. I just discovered it. And we have what we needed. Now, how thick that is compared to the back turret. It's gotta be visually appealing or we're not anywhere where we need to be. Well, we all know what this needs. This needs a scale of a Y. Yeah, but not like that. I kind of want to do like a proportional scaling of just the sides. Let me see how that works out. So we'll use the negative X. And we will, let's see. Go wireframe definitely. No, I'm good. Take it off, take it off, take it off. Right, so I'm gonna use faces, and we just need to find equivalent cut lines on both sides. That is the same as that, so we'll do as best we can to match it. And we go like that. Well, we got some random picks. See? That's no good. So for proportional editing, we're actually gonna pull it by the ears, buddy. Yeah, you're getting pulled by the ears. So we turn the X-ray off, and we say, well, you see, all you fuckers. Actually, I just need the middle one. So, all you fuckers. And what we're going to do after we did that is, well, okay. You know what? Oh my god, it doesn't do it. We don't want this one, or, oh god. Okay, we're gonna click here for a while. Why are you still triangulating? I thought I de-triangulate this one. Oh, it was the cannons, never mind. Yeah, no. A. Tries the quads, bro, please. Oh, at least we solved some. I think I'm gonna go to 30. It's the same shit. I took care of a little more. Okay, anyway. But for what we're trying to do, the whole thing just works. What the fuck am I doing? Why am I being so picky? All we have to do is right here. Plus this one. Oh, of course you gotta do the inner part. Oh no, that'll all fall within the proportion. It'll be fine. And then we do the same here. Yep. All of you come with me. Yep, perfect. Because what we want to do is proportional on. Let's go by increments. No snapping. And we want a back, no, we want a front view. We want to see those cannons and how proportional we are with the turret compared to the size of the cannons. So we're going to scale on the Y. That's way too big. Because we're trying to exactly. Yeah. And it just like did that. You know, like that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing within the hard. No, not you guys. Alright, perfect. Now we can scale on the Y and try it again. It just doesn't look good, it doesn't matter. And then we're gonna scale, you know what, fuck this. Because it needs depth. So, scale the X and scale tab. Scale the X. Just a little bit, I don't want it to shoot too much. Like that. And then scale the Y. To just there. And then we're gonna have to move this GZ, you know how much we're scaling up. So scale Z about that. And we have we need like a back piece of sorts. Okay, if we on the Z right here, then we have to scale the Y to match that, exactly like that. This part right here, GUI over here, and I kind of want to rotate this on the Y axis by 90, negative 90, that is. So I wanted those vents to be like that. And now what we want to do is to make this the back face. I'm gonna do it manually and fuck the snapping. So we want to G it sort of there. Boom. All the way in. Correct? Now GZ like that. Scale Y like that. Right? Put him in a little more, so Y, no, not Y, X. X, fully committed to the thing. So GZ. And this is just kind of like the feel of it. It's not necessarily what it's gonna be. piece. Like that. This is gonna actually wrap around. And I kinda wanna like, just to make it look like it, I want to scale it on the X. Nope. To scale it on the X. Like that, and then I want to GX. GX. I have to plug it in there. That's gonna be, that will be closed, obviously. Closed. Maybe. GZ. What are we sitting on? GZ a little more. Ooh, that gives me that look. Perfect. Ah, we got that issue. So scale X a little more. And that's it, because we don't want to go too far back on it. And then we're going to exit a little more. Boom. And this will be a seamless. It'll be a seamless operation, right? Which is what I'm trying to make it look like, without doing much damage to up here. I want to see that. Yeah. Yeah, this gotta, you know, this will be good once you make the model, but right now it's just damn. I wish I could handle the cost of all the software upgrades I need. There's nothing on hard ops. I cannot do vanilla. It just takes me longer. So there's nothing here that this guy did with hard ops that I can then just make the shape, make the boolean one by one, use arrays, use the tools at hand. For a put together piece, it's fine. So now the mirror stains, correct? We grab all this stuff. So we grab all this stuff and we deselect the mirror. Because user GY, you're the reference image. You see how this works, guys? You're the reference image. So now we work. Now we go, well, I want the mighty cube. So let's start with the mighty cube. Shift S. What? I did Shift S. Jesus, it's Shift B. Shift S 2 because we want. Motherfucker, Shift S 1. Thank you. Our mirror needs to be called mirror. Remember. Alright, so we got that. Now we don't fuck with the kit bash anymore, so we could technically empty our scene now of all the other parts. We're not using the kit anymore. And that's good for today. And we have a reference image. We don't have a reference image. We have a reference 3D model that we can get some aspects of. I am not convinced on the curvy side. Alright, so we gotta do this with less than 50,000 triangles. So, what, 25,000 squares? Or 15,000 squares on a few guns? As long as there's not a fucking curve and a bevel or an exposed area that has to be perfect. Because goddamn, I hate those handguns when you have to shade shit and it's being a bitch. I gotta absorb this first and find my. It is 4:15. I got another 45 minutes. I might just start it for now. So we're gonna use a 6-sided cylinder. Where's my mirror? Where'd my mirror go? Oh, I deleted everything with her. Take this off. Take that off. And take the mirror off. And now the kit. You know, we only have a few parts from the kit. Blah, blah, blah. Copies of them all over the place. Whatever. Alright, so we're going to start with a cylinder. A 6-sided cylinder. Right? And the immediate radius gives me about the same radius. Let's look at it from the top. Roughly the same. I might go 1.2 just to be a little larger because bigger is better. I don't care what your preference is. About 3 meters in depth, and we're looking at the rough shape of that. Then we're also going to keep it 6-sided, and we're going to shift D it. We're going to scale it on the Z axis, and you see it, it's in there scaling, and we're going to G it on the Z, and we have a curve. And this needs to be scaled up a little, and we're getting just basic structure. Then we go in there and we mold and we bevel and we get what we want, right? We have this little square on the back. We have this thing to do to this shape, basically. So we also want to scale it a bit on the X. No, not so much. Come on. Don't be greedy. Scale it on the Y a little. Jesus Christ. So we scale it on the X. Now we want to scale it on the Y. And we want to do about that. Right. So the curves will be added later, blah, blah, blah. Then we want to cut it through, so we're going to need 2 cylinders here of slightly higher resolution. Okay. One thing I didn't have for this that I want to do for this model is a small base. So we're going to shift D the top one and Z it down right about where it touches right there. Right now we're not worrying about shit other than now we do scale this one down to fit more of a profile of a standing point defense turret. This needs to be scaled a lot on the Z, but not that much of a. Keep the mouse, when you press S, don't have it close to the center. The further you are, the less sensitive it is. So if I'm way out here and I go scale Z, then it's really slow. kind of want it to be about that. Right? She's going to have a cut in the middle. Alright, so now we want to shift S2 to that center. Okay, we want to shift A, just a pair of cylinders. And obviously these are going to be a bit more. So I kind of want to make them 16s. That is too much, I believe, but we'll try. Okay, they're not that bad, and we want to make them 40mm cannons, so 20mm radius. Centimeter radius, I suppose. These are huge fucking cannons. Centimeters, bro. I just made a 20-meter radius. It's 40 meters in diameter. Thank you. A cannon, like cannon size. That's still not. Yeah. 23, bro. That's a bit better. We rotate Y. 90 degrees. Rotate, R for rotate, Y, 90 degrees. G on the X, like that. We're looking at our thing there. Need to be a little longer, so GX a little more. And we kind of want to GY this way. Click. Alright, so this is one of the first things we're going to use the modify for, the mirror for, and that's to mirror that shit. We'll click on the Y, and we're going to tell it, buddy, grab a mirror. Once you see that that's pretty much what you want, you click apply. Okay. Now subdivisions are going to happen, a bunch of subdivisions. This is what happens next. Subdivisions with shading and all that good shit begins to happen. So everything's going to be set to shade smooth, and that's just going to make it all look like shit for now. Believe it or not, that's what we want, because now we know what parts look like shit and where we have to work, what we got to do. Last is, for example, this type of cylinder obtrusion here. I don't want to have much pipes, so I'm gonna have like panels of some sort that look kind of like futuristic. A doorway. So instead of having this right here with bolts and shit, we'll have a doorway and sort of like ramp up here. Okay, this kind of vents look cool, so I'm kind of inclined to make vents on the top, and this whole thing, the way that this thing profiled was very nice on our Lego model. Now we need to kind of do something similar. I like what came out of that. So yeah, I'm not convinced on this. So like if we, let me hide that real quick. Let me hide that real quick. But then it's like, the whole thing is exposed, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, I kind of want to have those flaps around, so we're going to work with, like, I will probably duplicate a side of it, then morph it as a plane, you know, I'll use it as a, or I'll just insert the plane and morph it, do the cuts, make some bevels, do some extrusions, curve it properly, and that should work. However, it is 4:30 in the morning, guys. I gotta take a break. I've been going since 6 in the afternoon. That was the last nap I took. So it's been quite a few hours of work. Uh, Tomorrow we continue with the laser turret. Alright? Today we're gonna save this as file. Save as. Fuck nature curve. We're gonna call it it's already a laser turret blend. Okay. Save it. Okay. Let me see. File. Open. What's the initial curve? Oh yeah, that's something that I laid out. That's a thing that I was about to start to lay out, and then I'm like, yeah, no, I need to do this turret. Well, that was a ship I was about to lay out and start curving stuff to do that. Just test it, bro. Okay, we got what we need in here for tomorrow when we wake up. Mine's bigger. Way too big. Basically what we got is this guy's about 1.65 meters tall. It's about the size of a human. So I think that the whole thing, in this case, this whole apparatus should actually be scaled until I see that the z-axis is about 3 meters. Yeah, because that now I can copy the size on my reference model. Okay, I can copy the size of my reference model, and I can even get some ideas. See, I'm not gonna do any of this stuff, like all this curvy stuff. That's not gonna happen. The cylinder idea looks nice. It looks like anchor points of some sort, or like energy cells, or like even lights for denoting like whether the thing is active or not, or whatever. This is definitely gonna be a door for me, and that's gonna be part of tomorrow's workflow. Tomorrow it's full laser turret day. That base actually is a no-go. What we need is scale it back to where it was, like that. Scale it on the Y, 1.2. Make the base bigger than the turret. Scale it, yeah, enter. Scale on the X, 1.2. And now it's like almost, it's actually a little bigger than the turret. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that's the start. That's the start. We will go tomorrow. Alright, so file save. And it's been a pleasure showing you one of my tricks of getting like cool stuff out, and that is using people's kits to get reference, then coming up with my own pieces, my own kit, my own parts, my own work. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, it would look nothing. None of the parts, nothing would look like the guys. Obviously, we can't do that. But his kit allows us to see a preview. It's better than sitting there on some image generation software and trying to get a reference image of something you want for like 3 hours and then be like, well, okay, that's kind of like what I want, but I still got a lot of work to do. No, here I got a 3D representation of exactly or very close to exactly what I want. That's where kits and kit bashing comes handy, even if you don't own the rights to sell the stuff that you make with the kit. No, you use this as your Lego box, personal use, and using it as reference, and you get it going. Like, yeah, you're gonna see this shit. It won't look like that. I don't like this. I would like this if the whole cannon. No, I don't. I just like. Yeah, I kind of like the curvy. That's what my turret is gonna end up being. 2 holes on the front for the cannons, with all this curvy helmet-looking part on the back. Definitely gonna put some. Not like it's not extruding like this, but the top ones, they're gonna be pretty much similar. That I can't deny. This side ones, I kind of want to wrap them around. I kind of don't want this extrusion. I kind of want it to be round all around. And then the back is going to have 2 grills on each side. So like, imagine this is connected to this. And it's all one smooth curve on the back, correct? Well, this section would have a grill. And this section will have a grill just projected around, right? Sort of like, just focus on the grill, right? Sort of like, oh, no, sorry, flip. Sort of like that, right? Let me see. Oh, it actually looks better. That's perfect. Yeah. So yeah, like that. That's exactly. This is a fuck up here that we don't care about. But yeah, the grills go here. Like that. This is what I'm talking about. None of that stuff. It's not gonna be like this kind of like visor looking like a hat on top of it. No, I don't think this piece would go there. So like, let me see. It gives it a look. I'm not gonna lie. It gives it a look. And it's the difference between am I gonna have like a squarish part on the front with 2 things sticking out, or is everything gonna be smooth? Which is what I'm thinking. So back here, what I'm thinking is to go whoop, with that curvy taper, and then yes, the cannons should be kind of like oblique right here on the center a little, and the flaps sticking out a little bit further outward than the end of the barrel. Seems like a really nice touch. It looks good on the kit. I mean, good for what we're doing here, but yeah. Yeah, I can see where I can turn this into something really nice. To rival something built with an actual kit. And this is just bashing together really bad, okay? I wasn't trying to actually build something with this. It's just putting parts together to get an idea of something. So, there. Save again. And we are going to close it for the night, guys. It's been a pleasure. Just keep watching Vishwakarma Labs in Blogspot. I keep updating my progress there. I haven't really done much on YouTube, but my Twitch is active. Every time I'm on and I'm doing something, you guys are gonna see me here. And there's usually a trick or two that some people don't know that I might know, or someone might pop in and be like, hey, try doing this, and you know, fix my life and my next 3 hours that I would have spent suffering. So yeah, I'm here learning this stuff day by day. Alright, so take it easy, have a good night. See you in about 5-6 hours.